or maybe as an amazing life coach. Did you know that Danielle has traveled over 3 million miles in planes, trains, and automobiles? From Canada to Texas, Europe to New Zealand, she has discovered the beauty that this world has to offer. Miss Danielle Leveille-Wasson, sitting next to strangers. Sitting next to strangers, Danielle Leveille-Wasson.
How many of you have traveled? We've all been somewhere at some point. We've all sat next to strangers on planes. Yes, show of hands who've been on a plane. Trains, in cars, at church, right? At the grocery store, at the doctor's office, at the hospital. Today I'm going to take you on a few of my journeys as I traveled throughout the world and some of the people that I have met and what I have learned from them. I always sit in the aisle seat. It's the best. You'd never want to sit in the window seat. The aisle seat comes with some advantages and disadvantages. And I became very adept at doing this and ignoring people as they came on, waited until they were right there to indicate they needed to come sit in the aisle seat next to me. And most passengers, probably you as well, are very adept at staring at this little device of ours because there might be another email or something else that happened on Facebook just like a millisecond ago that we might have missed. One day I'm doing what I do best, reading, checking my emails, and this elderly gentleman comes down the aisle, and I'm kind of just doing this. And before I can get up, he comes in front of me, and I'm like, no, it's okay. And then he plops into the seat next to me. So that's fine. I didn't need that knee. So I sit down. I can tell he's a little nervous. And he's kind of breathing a little heavy, and he's elderly. I'm guessing in his upper 80s. So I decide to be kind, and I turn to him, and I'm like, hi, I'm Danielle. How are you today? He says, I'm Jack. I'm nervous. I'm like, well, why are you nervous, Jack? I've never flown before. I said, you haven't? I said, well, where are you going to Houston? It was literally Dallas, Houston, short flight, right? Well, my wife and I have always dreamt of knowing what it was like to be in an airplane and fly somewhere. And he said, she passed away. And we didn't have time to go. So today, I'm going to Houston. I'm going to have lunch at the airport. And I'm going to fly back home tonight. And tomorrow, I'm going to go to her graveside. And I'm going to stand there and say, honey, I did it. And it was cool. I said, well, good for you, Jack. Why don't you tell me about your wife? And we chatted about his wife the whole way. What I learned from Jack stayed with me till this day. If you make a plan and you have dreams with your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, do it before it's too late. And I carry that with me. Do it before it's too late. On another flight from Frankfurt to Dallas, again, adept at doing what I do best, ignoring all the people around me, checking yet again more messages. And this guy comes coming down, and I couldn't miss him because he's kind of not walking so straight coming down the aisle. And we've all done this. Show of hands, be honest. Please, God, don't let him sit next to me. And we secretly wish that they're not going to come sit next to us. And of course, he comes and sits next to me. Now, Frankfurt to Dallas is a 10-hour flight on a good day with tailwinds. I could smell the alcohol as he sits next to me. And he turns the minute he sat down and looks at me. He goes, baby, would you like to be part of the Mile High Club? So, as flattered as I was, I looked at him and I said, honey, you're young enough to be my son. And secondly, just sit there, shut up, close your eyes, have a nap. To which he responds, beep, you're such a beep. Beep, 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 beep. To which I respond, darling, you don't scare me. I raised 4 teenagers, 2 boys, 2 girls. Close your eyes, have a nap, talk to me later. Beep, 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 beep. He fell asleep before we took off. He woke up when we landed. And when we landed in Dallas, literally slept the entire way. Wakes up and he looks at me and he goes, was I a bad boy? And I said, no, you pretty much just slept. You were fine. What I learned from this fine gentleman, I call him Dirk. I like to refer to him as Dirk because Dirk sounds very German to me. What I learned from him was don't drink and fly, but most importantly, don't drink until you become somebody that you don't really want to be. On another flight from Dallas to Salt Lake City, again, doing what I do best, in comes 2 young people, I'd say mid-20s to early 30s, a young man and a young girl, very politely pull up to my row and say, excuse us, ma'am, we're sitting in the row with you. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So they sit down and they're quite somber looking. I have a vision that young people should be happy. They're in their 20s. I mean, what could possibly be going wrong in their life when you're 20 years old? So they sit down and the pilot comes on and says, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be delayed. We're waiting for some baggage. To which I'm thinking, oh, I hate being delayed. Who cares if somebody's baggage doesn't make it? Thank the Lord I didn't say it out loud. It was my internal voice, because suddenly the 2 beautiful young people next to me look out the window and they start crying. And I look out the window because, of course, I've got to see what's happening. And here comes a casket with an American flag. And they were soldiers escorting a fallen comrade. To this day, it makes me emotional. They ended up telling me all about this friend who was the best soldier that saved their life. And they were bringing him home. From this, I learned that when you say thank you to the military for protecting us, mean it. Because they really do put it all on the line for us, for our liberty. In the end, what I've learned from traveling that I hope you take with you is that everyone has an internal battle that they're fighting, and we don't know what that is. And sometimes it's our coworkers, our family, our friends, or a perfect stranger. If you take the time to open your heart, say hi, shake hands, and ask them questions, your life will be 1,000 times better because you did one thing. You were kind to them. Thank you.